Welcome back to the Conscious Cowboys. Happy Wednesday. Even though it's not Wednesday for us, but it is for you guys.
Maybe you're not listening to it on a Wednesday. Maybe you're listening to it on
yeah, that's true, huh? Happy day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So last week we left off with
Jacuzzis.
And the reason I reacted as big as I did is because that situation and kind of that whole circumstance was something I wanted to talk about the entire episode, but it's not my story to tell and stuff like that. So I was letting Madison just, humor me.
Mull it over.
Yeah.
and then I finally said
at the end of the episode, she hits me with it. And
I just wanted
freaked
to
out.
surprise.
I couldn't believe that you went for it. It was funny as shit.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah.
So that brings us to today's episode.
Yeah.
Which, how do we want to introduce?
Okay. Well, I guess how I can introduce it to everyone is we obviously everybody is so different with what they like and what they don't like when it comes to being courted or courting someone, right? Everyone's got their own style and that's really cool. However, from our experience, there's definitely some things that turn us off or deter us from pursuing someone further. And then we were laughing because on our walk yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, we were talking about the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And then Madison's like, oh my God, How to Lose a Girl in 10 Days. And I'm like, brilliant. Okay, this is where we're going with it. Now, I want to say before we even dive into any of this that I think we have a little hesitation here about going down a listy type of thing on what not to do when trying to pursue someone. Because again, everyone's different, but also I think we have this, not a fear, but definitely a little reservation here because we don't want to come off
honestly just don't want to come off as a hater and a negative Nancy, because I feel like we are pretty positive people, but sometimes we just like to laugh and complain about some BS that's occurring.
Yeah.
And also
exactly.
Yeah, basically that. And also I think now that it's we're such a part of cancel culture and stuff, it's we walk on, what is it, thin ice? I was like, oh my God, what's the expression?
Eggshells.
Yeah, I was
ice.
Tiptoes, something. But we just want to be careful. And obviously this is from our point of view and it's all for fun, really.
Yes.
And we realize that most of the things that we're going to say, these guys have done these things, or I guess basically the guys that have done these things are just not the ones for us. They're usually not the ones that end up with us. So that's why they do this nonsense, this behavior.
Yeah. And I guess I would argue too that maybe if we were more interested in them, these things really wouldn't be for us.
Right. Maybe some of these things.
It.
Yeah. Some of these things that we're going to say, maybe some girls are like, oh my God, I'm totally fine with that. I love when they do that.
Then great for you.
Awesome.
That's what makes us all so different.
Exactly. And we're open to hearing obviously about that, but this is just our point of view.
I'm also open to hearing what everybody else is How to Lose a Girl in 10 Days, or even if you're a male listener, what do you think for what do girls do that is a no for you in the beginning stages? Why don't you kick us off? Because I feel like you've got some fun ones maybe on this list.
Okay, well, so I don't even know. I mean, I guess we could just start off by where the episode ended last week of the jacuzzi ordeal.
Yeah.
So this is really throwing this person under the bus, but I'm not.
I don't think it's throwing this person. I think because someone commented on because I just posted that clip on social media and someone commented and they're like, this is so real. So it's not just you experiencing stuff like this. I think if you're a young woman, you can definitely say that there's a good chance you have personally been victimized by the jacuzzi.
My fucking mom, before she met her husband, on the dating apps at the age of 50, and someone's asking her, let's go in the jacuzzi. Yeah. Imagine that shit. It's so funny to me.
So what that means though is when a guy is just when he in the very beginning is asking you to go into the jacuzzi, like a first
literally
meetup.
the first meetup asked if I wanted to go in a jacuzzi, and I said no.
Well, obviously,
like I'm literally busy doing anything else.
Well, you brought up a good point when this happened. Was like you could go because there's nothing wrong with going in the jacuzzi on the first time you
and
meet
maybe someone would be down for that. It's like kind of when you were in high school and a first date or like meet up with a guy was let's go to the beach or like let's go to the pool, and I'm like obviously because you want to see the body in a bathing suit,
yes.
which is totally fine because I want to see you in a bathing suit too.
Okay,
but sometimes I just am. Most of the time, I'm just not in the mood for that.
Okay, I have like never been a big fan of that. I'm sure a lot of people can agree. I want to get to know someone on an intellectual level before I start to develop that attraction for them. Like, I don't know. I don't need to be so vulnerable in a bikini.
Right. So then
in front of you when I don't know you. Like, dude, my walls are so up right now. I don't want to get. Imagine he's sitting in the jacuzzi already and you have to walk into the hot body of water in your bikini and you're just like, hi.
See, like, I think of it differently. Is
Okay.
I think that like that is easy to me. It's like showing your body and like being out and about because it's like, oh yeah, this is my body. Like I'll go in a jacuzzi with you. But I think it's just like the sexual tension in there for me when I don't know someone. Unless like my motive to meeting up with this guy is, oh, I just want to sleep with him or whatever, flirt, do whatever. That's fine. I'll go in the jacuzzi with you. But if it's like my mindset is just not there right now, I'm not going to do it.
Correct.
So
yeah.
That's that. It just like literally makes me feel like I'm in high school again.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be fun sometimes. But sometimes
There's a time
I'm just
and
like,
a place.
bro, just like ask me to go for a hike or like take me out to coffee.
But what we talked about earlier is that could have been a hit because if you were in the headspace of like, yeah, I just want to like flirt
fuck
with
around
this
and
person,
go in the jacuzzi. Yeah.
Let's go right now.
Totally.
I'll be there in 10.
Yes.
So
I think
really
it just
is
shows,
just rolling the dice.
It is. And also I think like that kind of ask, like if we're really going deep into it, shows that person's intention of like, yeah, I just want to go in the jacuzzi with you and fuck around a little bit. All right. We laid it out on the table behind the question of, do you want to go in the jacuzzi? Right?
Yeah. Like there's no gray area here for me.
No.
I knew the second that happened, I was like, this is what the situation is.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so since I said no, then, you know.
What happens next?
Right. And that's, yeah. All right. That's my first one.
Okay. On this wave, I feel like this happens not too often, but when someone doesn't necessarily like make plans in advance, I think that that's icky. Like we've both experienced this.
Yes.
And obviously, if someone is only making spontaneous plans with you, that makes you feel like you are an afterthought.
Yes.
You're not on their list of priorities of like, when I organize my week, I want to see this person.
Right.
It just is like, oh, frantic. What are you doing right now? I'm riding my bike. Oh, you're going on a walk. Okay, I'll meet you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, I was like, what's this example coming from?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I see this two ways. I see it the way that you're talking about it, but then I also see it as like, it could be cool. Like I could see someone thinking like, oh my God, he's passing by my street and he thought of me.
Sure.
So
but if
let's
that's
go
the
grab
only
coffee.
time.
Exactly. If that is the only time in which this person's asking you to hang out, that shit's annoying.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It needs to be balanced. Spontaneous plans are cool and can be fun and sexy if you know that this person is pursuing you in a more meaningful way. If it's all you get is spontaneous plans, then for me, that's a no.
That is also a no for me, dude.
Dude, it's
that
a
is
no.
Also, no, it's also a no for me too. Because, yeah, it's like you said, you feel like an afterthought, and that's not a good feeling.
Yeah. And then sometimes you're not really sure what it is because you're like, okay, well, they just asked me to go do this. Is it because I'm in proximity to that and they figured, oh, I'm like bored. I should just ask her to go. Because like, okay, dude, I'm thinking of multiple times when this happened to me and I'm like, Jesus Christ, is it just because you're in my part of the neighborhood? Or
yeah, you don't want to drive the extra 20 minutes for fuck's sake if you made a plan with me like in 2 days from now.
Or what if, oh, you make a plan with me on a Friday night, but then something more cool comes about.
Exactly. Or someone better. It honestly, like a lot of things that I'm going to bring up today, not that I have like a long list, but it makes me think like you have a bunch of girls you're talking to and maybe like the first 2 said no, and then you're like, all right, let's hit up Madison and see if she's free. No one ever likes to feel like that, okay? So do your best to not have them feel that way.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fucking easy, unless the reality is that you're talking to many girls and you did ask 2 people before me.
Correct.
All right, that's also fine, but I'm not going to come and hang out with you.
Okay, and then one more thing about this is like, I think it's hot when someone can make a plan.
Dude, a man with a plan. Oh, it's literally so sexy.
It really does it for the ladies.
It does. Because then I feel like we were talking about this yesterday, but it just like they take some initiative. And initiative is like, I really like that. Mm-hmm. Also, we have elephants that live upstairs, apparently.
Yeah, quiet on
they
set,
literally
dude.
run around.
It's bad.
Quiet on set. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a rainy day here, and we thought, like, you think it's thunder? Whatever they've been doing upstairs, it sounds like they have the largest rolling suitcase. Like they're going to Europe
they're
tonight.
Doing laps and with the suitcase. Dude, that'd be tight if they're going to Europe.
Yes, and I would say goodbye for 5 weeks. Don't come back.
5 weeks, yeah, exactly. Oh man. All right, okay.
Okay.
This is another one for me. Is equal conversation when you're out with someone and the guy. So we're only talking about this, obviously, in like heterosexual relationships. A guy mostly talks about themselves. That, to me, is like a pet peeve. And I could see it both ways of like, maybe they're trying to impress you or they just like don't give a shit about what you have to say. Like, ask me some damn questions.
Get to know me so it's not one-sided.
Yeah, so it makes me feel like you actually care versus just talking about yourself. Because I can listen all day, but I take note of when people only talk about themselves, obviously.
I also think that is something that you specifically, like I'm sure this happens to a lot. I know it's happened to me. Remember the time I sat there for 4 hours watching this person's YouTube videos that he was showing me of himself? Okay, beyond that.
Dude.
I was like, nice. Oh, we're going to watch another one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
exactly. There's more.
But for you naturally kind of fall into that because you're not so much of like an assertive talker.
It's true.
You'll let people go if they're going. You'll let them go.
Absolutely.
You would never be like,
it's like
okay,
hard, like I don't like
enough.
chime in. Yeah, exactly. I would not.
Well, and your style of communication sometimes is asking further questions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's only
true.
Promoting.
Dude, so it's only like a me thing. They're like, it's because you only asked me questions.
They would probably argue that, but no, I think it's up to every individual to recognize the patterns of a conversation and be able to turn it. If you're like, okay, wow, I've been talking about myself for 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Let's
hear about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
That's cute. Okay. Yeah. Let's get more of that involved.
Totally.
Yes.
And I think that is a pretty solid piece of advice that's really easy to incorporate. Like, I don't see how that would be hard.
Yeah.
I guess it's self-awareness. I need to start dating people that have a lot of self-awareness, I think.
As you can tell, we might have had some rough runs here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, damn.
I know, because I think about people that are more aligned with what I'm looking for, and like they don't really do any of this. They might show hints of it, but for the most part, like none of this behavior.
Yeah, and that's why we were saying this at the beginning, because it's just the guys that are not it. And not to say that they couldn't become it.
Us right now.
That's right. At this time.
We're walking so carefully because we just don't want to be misunderstood.
That's
like
right.
If we were not talking haters, to you guys, honestly. I think we would be going in on this.
We would be shit talking like no other.
Including names, the whole thing.
Yeah, 1000%.
We'd have a PowerPoint up.
Yeah, like a whiteboard.
Time-stamped text messages.
Fucking evidence of this shit. Oh man. All right.
Okay. This one's an obvious one. I think we all get this, but if you're kind of all or nothing in terms of attention. So no one likes to be smothered right out of the gate because you're like, oh my God, does this person not have a life outside of me?
Yeah, it's a little
scary.
Yes, clingy.
Whoa,
yeah,
pump
too
those
attached.
brakes. But then if you play it so cool that I can't tell if you're into it or not.
Oh no. Honestly, on to the next.
I move on just as fast as I did in the first scenario.
Yeah. It's like when people say, like, if you feel confused at all in a relationship, that's not the guy for you. I think that there is a lot of truth to that.
Yes, I wouldn't say always the
No.
case, but I think there is, like you said, a lot.
Yeah, because sometimes, yeah, I don't know, guys and girl, we're just very complicated. Like, especially when you first meet someone, I feel like it's very, like, hard to read each other, which I don't want to be easily read, and I also don't want to read someone easily either, because that's kind of just like takes the fun out of it. But it just like is a game in a sense.
I'm just thinking, I don't know. I mean, okay, continue.
I mean, those are my thoughts on that. But I was talking to Tess, and I was saying, because we were talking with our friend Boney the other day about this, and Boney's gonna be so happy that we said his name. So you better have listened to this episode, or else
You know he will.
in the fucking mud, bro. Yeah, he will. But we were talking about it because we were saying, like, typically when a guy comes on too strong with me, I'm like, oh my God, ew, like that is such a turn off. But I think usually when that happens, it's like a guy that I'm not really into.
Yeah.
So then obviously that's a turn off for me.
It's because it's too much. You don't want it
yeah,
from
and
that
I'm like,
person.
oh my God, I feel smothered, this attention. Exactly. I don't want it from that person. No, not for me.
But if you like them, you're like,
I'd be like, oh yeah, that attention. Love it. Yeah.
So you've got to find the balance.
Yeah, it's true. All right, next point for me, and I think Tess would agree on this one, is there are so many different. Okay, so let's just side note here. Have you guys seen He's Just Not That Into You? It's an old movie, and we
not
watched
that old,
it.
though.
It's
Early
like
2000s?
10 years.
Late 2000.
Yeah.
Well, we can't be late 2000s.
Yeah, no, it's not late. I'd say about 10 years. Maybe
Okay.
like a 2008.
Okay.
So more than 10 years. Who knows? It's a good movie, and it's really cheesy chick flick, you know. But we watched it when Tess was having some situations with guys that she was dating before Phil. And she kept saying, like, oh my God, this shit's like hitting hard. But they have like a lot of good points in it, which I think anyway, it's worth watching. So they talk about in the movie, which I agree, is that we have so many different forms of communication now. It's like you have to check like so many different fucking things to see if this guy wants to talk to you. So then
I know where you're
mine
going.
right now is if like
just say it. Yeah. If you're only hitting her up on Instagram.
Yeah, stop. Like if you're only DMing me, I also have text. Like the reason I don't reply for like 2 days is because sometimes I just take a hiatus off of Instagram. I don't go on it, and I don't get notifications that someone messages me like on Instagram. Like I don't see that show up on my phone. So if I don't go on Instagram, I don't know. Okay. That's why I don't reply, because I don't actually see it. Just fucking text me or call me. Why are you hitting me up through the DMs? I just don't. The way that I read that, again, and this is maybe like some insecurity of mine, or I try to like really enter the other person's life. I'm like, do you have someone else on the side, and like you can't get caught talking to me if you go through your DMs? Like that's where my head goes. Like what the fuck is that? Or you're on Instagram more than you're actually just like have your phone. That's also not right to me. Right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's not right. Yeah.
I have an Instagram note here too.
Okay.
If they don't reply to you, or like there's not like a lot of conversation going on, not that they don't reply, but like nothing is really progressing.
Yes.
On a interpersonal front. And then if you post something on stories, this is so modern day dating, but if you really post something, they'll like heart all your stories.
Dude, yes. What is that? Or they'll comment on your stories, but it just never goes anywhere beyond that. Like what actually is that?
Can we just elaborate here further, because I no longer care about this situation. Also, I can really
okay, I feel like I know what you're gonna say, and if you don't say what I think you're gonna say, I'll say it after.
Okay. After I got ghosted, right? Like a month goes by. I'm like, this person's out of my life, no big deal. But then goes and likes all my Instagram stories, like over and over again. I'm like, do you just want, obviously you just want to stay on my radar. You just want the attention, but you don't actually want to pursue anything. So please get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. I also think that they do that just to say like, there's no bad blood between us.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Everything's
I mean, that's
all
it too.
good.
But that's on your end, not on mine.
Yeah. On mine, I fucking hate you. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
Oh no, I thought you were going to go for if this is some red flag behavior that we talk about sometimes, is when you start talking to a guy, whatever, or you are talking to one and you look at who they're following on Instagram, and it's like a bunch of Instagram influencers that are hot with their tits out.
Like, more power to the chicks. We love it. We're
Absolutely.
all for you.
I support that. Like, get that follower, you know? But like, what is the point of that man following them?
Dude, the guy who ghosted me, he's getting roasted today. He
fucking deserves it.
Someone warned me. They're like, oh, you're talking to him? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, so someone warned you? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And he's like, dude, like, just a forewarning, I'm just going to say this. Like, I follow a lot of chicks, and I thought I had a lot going on there. No, dude, this guy follows a lot of chicks. And he's like, all I know is that every time I see like an influencer pop up on my page, he's already liked it. Oh, that is so yuck.
Yeah, it's not
Reel
right.
it in. Look all you want. I don't give a shit if you look. Like, obviously we all have eyes.
Or they like comment on it, and we just think like, they're gonna read that and be like, so and so, this random man commented and liked
fire emoji
out of 5,000 comments. That's
look
the
at his
one
page.
for me.
Maybe reach out to him.
Exactly. I'm gonna DM him.
Okay, all right, we got excited there.
Oh my god!
But it's annoying behavior, and I am personally a victim of these actions, and it's all right. That's how I knew that it was totally okay to move on, because that's, to me, very immature communication and behavior.
Right.
Also, I'm just going to go here for a second. Not if you're being courted by someone, but if the person that you are dating is following other people on Instagram and then is telling you, don't worry about it, there's nothing that you need to freak out about. Listen to your gut, ladies, okay? Listen to your gut. That's all I'm going to say.
That's moral of the story for all of it. If it feels like it's not right, then it probably isn't right.
And if it is right and you're reading into it, then that person can reassure you, and you'll have like valid proof of that. Not that you need to be skeptical of who you're dating, but like also protect yourself a little.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All about protecting. Yeah. Also, if my little like bang keeps getting caught on the mic.
Okay.
And it's just not happening.
I got my hair cut also the other day, and I have more of like a bang now. And when I was teaching, I went, and it went into my mouth, and it hit the dang, like it went into my throat, and I went, and then everyone like turned around, and I was like, I just choked on my hair. If you were wondering how that could happen, I don't know.
Dude,
flew in.
Not right at all.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have here. I feel like there's so much we could dive into.
There is, and we can still keep thinking about it, but I feel like where I'm going to go next is the first date topic.
Oh, she is a woman with a plan.
Well, because why not, you know? So we were talking about this on our walk yesterday, because I feel like often we get asked like, oh, what would be a good first date? We decided, not that this is like end all be all, but we decided for now anyway, that coffee and a walk and / or hike is a solid first date. Because many things, and I'll let you go after this, but one of them is basically it's very innocent. Like if we're going out for a drink, if we're asked to go out for a drink, first off, we don't drink, so that's something else. But when you go out to a drink and afterwards, it's kind of like, well, you feel the pressure of like, well, do I need to have dinner with this person or go home with them? You know, and it's at night and it's kind of like, but during the day, you have an out, you could leave after the walk or maybe go get brunch. And Tess brought up a funny point yesterday is that like we don't feel like pressured into kissing someone. You know, like after you have a few drinks, whatever, you have that like sexual tension maybe, which is cool and fun. You feel like, oh my God, he's going to come in for a kiss. All right. But like on a random afternoon on the weekend.
Yeah, like a Sunday
You
morning,
know,
no
it's
one's
very
going to try to plant
casual.
one unless it's like the real, like, we're
Right.
obviously
Unless you're
hitting it
feeling
off.
this fiery, like, oh, hell yeah, I need to kiss this person. But yeah.
And that sounds really prude. But,
Yeah, it does.
which, all right, fair enough. But I don't know. I think being able to get to know someone casually, and like I always tell my guy friends who ask me like, what should I do with her? Right. Because a lot of my guy friends are single right now and they're like courting people. Like, what should I do? And I think for one, everybody's so individual, like really depends on the person. But I think not asking someone for a drink is original. And
yes, because
also,
everyone
you
always
don't
wants to
know-
go out for drinks.
Yeah, and you don't know if the person drinks or not. I mean, they might not be as like, I don't know, I don't want to call us regimented, but they might not be as like closed off to drinking as we are, but they might be like doing dry January or something like that, right? You don't know what this person's personal goals are. So if you don't pressure them into a drink and you can do something more wholesome, you have just an easier out also. Like if you're out on a walk and you are done with the walk, like you circled back to your car.
Bye. Like, so great to meet you.
Don't go on too long of a walk. I was laughing because one of our friends who doesn't live here, he was on the phone with us and he was updating us about a date he went on, and he's like, yeah, and fuck, I went on this walk with this girl and it was like a 5-miler and we were on the opposite side of the lake, and I just
too far.
He's like, I just wanted to get out of there so bad.
Yeah, just go. It's also like so nice to go for a walk because it's not like we're having to give direct eye contact.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, it is. It's so casual and you feel like confident, especially you're like walking somewhere beautiful. You're looking at the scenes.
Yeah, you
scenery.
feel less self-conscious when you're not being stared at, obviously.
Right.
Like if someone's just walking by your side and there's like things to look at, great. And also, I don't know about you guys, but for us, when you walk, you have much clearer thoughts.
Yeah, it gets conversation flowing.
Versus just sitting there. Like I hated going and sitting down with someone and like having to stare at them and eat.
Yeah, because also
Or
and then like I'm like
and then
worried
I gotta
about
pee.
like exactly, and I'm worried about like having to put things in my mouth. Like, am I opening my mouth too wide right now? Does it look like I'm like trying to be sexual? I don't really know. You know, like that's one of the reasons why girls barely eat on dates, I feel.
It just, I mean, you guys can sit there all day and be like, none of it matters. Like, just do you. And for sure, I think we can all agree on that. But until you feel comfortable with someone, like one time I went on a first and I ordered like an avocado toast. Seems safe enough.
Dude, no chance.
They basically gave me like a 5-inch thick piece of bread. And I had to cut through it like with a fucking saw.
And you're not even enjoying it at that point.
No,
like I'm
and
thinking
I'm
about
eating,
20 other
things.
things.
Just take them for a walk, all right? Don't ask them for food or drinks, please.
Yeah.
But some girls might be like, I don't want to go on a walk.
No,
That's
like,
scary. I could be on a walk with some man I don't know, so I'd rather go to a public place. And
yeah, and it's not that I wouldn't like, of course I would like to go for dinner on a first date. That's totally fine because it's like fun to get dressed up and do that. But I would prefer a morning setting in the beginning because I also just like am a morning person.
I don't know.
too.
I just think save dinner for date 2.
Sure.
On this topic of first dates, I think we all can get a little in our heads if we're the ones trying to plan it. Less is more, guys.
Oh
The
my
less
God,
elaborate,
less is
the better. You don't want to come off like what if it's tacky? You go and then you have this awful time because what you chose was not great, and then that's the person's perception of you. Like you guys didn't enjoy.
They chose this.
Yes, you didn't enjoy yourselves, and then they're associating it with your decision making.
Right. Oh no.
So just keep it chill. You can't go wrong with a walk and like a smoothie or a tea or a coffee.
Yeah, because I feel like if someone were to ask me on like coffee or a walk or something, I feel like there's no other motive behind it.
Than just wanting to get to know me
exactly.
and go for a walk, which
is
aligns
like
with
so
my
nice.
personality.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone is different. Because again, like getting ready, getting dressed up to go like out
To like
on a
look
night.
your best.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's also actually fun too sometimes.
Sure.
But yeah,
It really depends on everybody's mood.
it
I
does.
think.
It does depend on the mood. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we can cover. I feel like we went over a lot of the personal things we've gone through with being courted.
Right.
Covered the first date.
Yeah.
I feel like we're good on that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was trying to even think about, I think that's actually fine. Doesn't
You look
show.
great.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to think of just like
You guys can't hear it, but it's honestly hilarious how loud our neighbors are. Like it seems
they're
like
moving
it's a joke.
furniture, I think.
For the past 5 hours.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of like other big things in terms of like dating or like when men are trying to like pursue you.
Okay,
you know?
You just jogged my memory here. Something that I wanted to bring up was don't overthink it. Obviously, like see the signs that they're giving you and think of it what
See
you
the
will.
size that they're giving you?
See the signs.
Oh, they said size. I was like, oh my God.
Look below the belt,
yeah,
ladies.
Exactly. It's like, see the size. Jesus Christ.
No. See the signs they're giving you, but don't overthink it. I have been guilty of this. Like you start to really question, like, what does this mean? Or what does this mean? As you already mentioned, Madison, if you're not sure what it means, like if there's any confusion, then like,
it's just probably a no.
Peel back.
Yeah. Like honestly, he's probably just not that into you. Like that's like the tough love that I give myself. Cause it's like better to just rip the Band-Aid off right now. Like
if someone's into you, you know.
You fucking know. Like take it at face value. If someone wants to see you, they're going to ask you to hang out and probably make a fucking plan. Or like, can I see you right now?
Yeah. And
like,
no excuses.
None of this excuse BS.
See,
Absolutely.
Not even excuses on their end, but don't make excuses for yourself.
Right.
I'm in Canada. Can I see you when I get back
I'm
next week?
always working.
And then they don't call. Don't make an excuse that he might still be in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not.
He's
just
home. Not that into
you.
Yeah, exactly. Damn, we sound like cynical bitches.
No, I'm not.
This is reality.
I have the most like loving man now, and
yes.
I can see the difference. Like
yes,
how
listen
he
to
treated
Mother
me.
Hen Tess.
Thank you. How he treated me and how he went about starting this whole thing was much different from every man that I've been talking about in this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
I was not confused about if he was into it or not. He made plans with me. He took initiative. It was casual, but it was fun and still spontaneous. Like it wasn't blurred lines for me. And I don't know. I just think I wish I could go back and tell myself these things. Like how I said last episode, like, oh, if I could have just relaxed a little bit and taken things for what they were versus wrapping my head up into the whole situation, I probably would have been in a much better headspace.
Yeah. And I think we wrap ourselves up in it is because we just like want it so bad.
I glorified every situation.
Which again,
like, dude, he is so hot. He's everything I want on paper. It's done for me. Of course, one thing had to lead to another. This person's in my life. It's meant to be.
But it's just a story that we tell ourselves.
Just
when in reality, it's not that.
Just dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just dreams. But it did all work out now anyway.
Well, I think that's how I would close out the conversation is from my experience, if I got any of those things and it didn't feel right, that was the sign to pack my bag and move on from the situation.
Right.
Because something far better suited for me was right around the corner. But I would not have teed myself up for that had I kept myself hung up on any of this shit we've talked about.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about like if you start talking to someone and it just doesn't work out, I'm just like, all right. I mean, it just makes more room for what I actually want and need in my life out of a man.
I also wanted to let you know that people have been not defending the dating apps, but have shared with us. Like I got a message this morning on Cowboys for You that was like, this is for Madison. I know, I'm sorry. This is for Madison, but I just wanted to share that I met my like loving, healthy relationship and like long-term boyfriend on a dating app. And I would not have met him due to proximity reasons.
Okay.
So I just wanted to like send a little positive energy your way and
I like
reinforce
that.
the idea that they can work.
Okay, great.
Great.
I'm open to this advice coming in from other people.
Totally. because we need it. We need to see, because what we hear is our guy friends down here being like, I'm deleting the apps.
I deleted the app. And I'm like, but didn't you delete it like a week ago? And they're like, I'm deleting it again.
Yeah. I downloaded it just to see if there was someone new.
Exactly.
So when all you get is just like, you know, it's washed up. There's nothing. I've been on it for years. It's just like,
yeah. I mean, I think like the more that we talk about dating apps, the more now I see it as like a social experiment.
I would love this.
Dude, of course you would fucking love this.
I need excitement. But I think it's about like why I watch reality shows. I'm like, all right, I finally, all of the chaos of my personal life has started to mellow out. Now I need a little fix.
Yeah.
And I would love it to be Madison.
And I know that like if I were to download a dating app and make a profile and we're like scrolling through guys, like Tess and her partner Phil would just love this shit.
He is almost more of an advate for it than I. He's like, yeah, I want to see.
So excited to see what was happening.
And we could have brilliant stories, which I think we could use. Right? We could all use a little DL from Madison.
All right. Well, we'll see in the coming weeks, won't we?
Peer pressure. She doesn't give in to that. Don't even try.
No, I don't. But we'll see if I make the decision, you know? You never know. Sometimes I just do shit and it's surprising. So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay.
More to come on this topic. I feel like it's just so fun.
Dating is so easy to talk about because it's so personal.
Right.
You know, like everyone's got their own experience, but there is overlap. It's funny. People do some dumbass shit. And then you find really great diamonds in the rough.
That's true. When you least expect it, right?
Exactly.
So they say.
It happened for me. It can happen for you. For anyone who doesn't know, Philip and I have been friends for like 12 years or so. And we didn't think anything of it. Until
both single at the right time.
Until we thought something.
Both their lights were on. They were ready. And that's just how it happens. Like you could be dating someone and their light just isn't on and they just want to fuck around, and that's them and that's on their own path. And if you want something exclusive, then see ya. Yeah. So it's all about timing, and it's obviously all going to work out. Like I truly believe all works out all the time.
Yeah. Well,
so a little positive reinforcement after being haters for the last 35 minutes. All in good fun, though.
All in good fun.
All in good fun.
Well, do better.
Yeah, I agree. Literally do better. I'm just going to send that to people from now on. Like, why haven't you replied in a week? Do better. Dude.
And then we always have this fear of like, I don't want to come across of like, I'm better than, because we're in no way better than.
No.
But it's just like lackluster behavior.
I'm just looking for more, all right? And you're not the more, so.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, there's only one person in the whole world you can, you know, really do all this stuff with if you are choosing a monogamous relationship. I said this last episode. So don't settle.
Yeah,
like if you don't like the way they're courting you, then goodbye. On to the next.
Absolutely. Don't make excuses for them.
Tell them and see if they correct.
Yeah. And if they don't, bye. Yeah. Gotta make room for what's best for you, honestly.
So
just is.
Here's to Madison downloading the app. Let us know what app she should get on.
Dude. No.
Let us know the best apps. Obviously, if anyone has a Raya hookup, that might be more of her style.
Oh, dude, I would.
No, you might get some major losers like gigolos on there. Just like womanizer. No, you don't need that.
Yeah.
We just want a nice guy who's hot, who has a great personality, and some goals for himself. Not asking for much.
The list is a bit longer than that, but yeah, let's
I really
just
boiled it down.
With that. Yeah, it's only those 3 things. I just need a fucking champion. The man, like literally the GOAT. That's what I want.
So if you are the GOAT, you know where to find her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh,
that
God.
Got me teary-eyed from laughing.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. We're going to continue to work and go somewhere because we've been in our apartment all day and we just need to get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll meet my husband. I don't know.
In the elevator, floor 4.
I don't think so. But
If you're a regular listener,
dude,
kudos
I
to
just want to
you.
know
You got the
something
joke.
funny is my mom listened to that episode of when we mentioned the guy that we saw in the elevator and she goes, I think you should ask him out. I'm like, yeah, Mom. I'm going to go knock on every door on the 4th floor and ask that guy out.
No problem.
Absolutely not. Anyway.
But thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks for listening.
Love the support.
She just wants me to have a husband.
She's like, are you married yet?
Yeah, exactly. So did you get engaged? Fuck. All right.
All right, guys.
Until next week.
Talk soon.
Talk soon.
Take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
And don't lose the girl in 10 days with all of our splendid advice. Bye.
Oh, that's right. See ya.